Hello, hi. Thank you for being here. My name is Caitlin Michelle, and let's talk life and esoterics because it's all interconnected, all interrelated. It's all important. I hope you had a good week. I hope you had a really good week, and I hope you've been having a good day. I know I'm coming at you pretty late in the day. If you're listening the same day of, this is pretty darn late. And I apologize. Life sometimes intervenes, and I had quite a lot of work to do. One of the many hats that I wear as a real estate agent, that was the hat that had the most work besides full-time parenting today. I have a bit of work to do in numerology too, and I know I have some work coming up for design, interior design. Oh yeah, I guess I have my fingers in lots of different pies, but this is what is exciting to me. This is why I left the corporate world. But anyway, I digress. Here I am. I showed up because that is what I'm here to do, and I like to keep my word. I don't just like, this is really important to me. Keeping my word is very important. I know it's one of those for agreements. Of course, this was important to me before I ever read that book. So anyway, here I am. I have my rose iced tea latte that I've been working on all day. I filled up one of these, what is this? Like a 32 ounce mason jar. And I've just been nursing it all day. Maybe one of these days I'll drink a different tea, but on these days, especially when I'm really overwhelmed with everything and I'm being pulled in lots of different directions, it's the rose that keeps me centered. So in this case, I'm just drinking the rose because I am all out of the essential oil. Got to order more, and I'm really grateful that I am in the position now to just order more when I run out. But that's a different story for another day. So anyway, I pulled an oracle card, and this is from a deck that I haven't used here on this platform yet, though I have had this deck for a while. It's called the Kuan Yin Oracle by Alana Fairchild. When I first got this deck, I actually didn't know who or what Kuan Yin was. I just felt intuitively guided to it, which is kind of a theme for a lot of these different like spiritual tools and such, especially when you're working with crystals. And anyway, using your intuition or things just showing up is kind of the way this goes. So anyway, I hadn't heard of Kuan Yin, and in case anyone out there listening also is unfamiliar, I figured first, before reading the card that I pulled, I'll talk about Kuan Yin. I'm going to read from the introduction here because I think it's really beautifully written and really uplifting. I think it's a message that we can all hear at any time. So here we go. Kuan Yin is the mother of compassion. She guides us into our enlightenment, which is being able to live in harmony and unity with the love that is, and surrendering into that love. Enlightenment is not meant to be a distant spiritual goal, but something that we can choose to live at any time by choosing love, kindness, compassion, and wisdom over fear, judgment, anger, or separation from the source, the divine feminine, that seeks to nourish us so that we blossom into the fullness of our being. I'm going to pause here. That word blossom, I love it. It really brings to mind the card that we keep getting for wild roses. Anyway, I'll continue. You are such a beautiful soul, and you have the power to co-create a beautiful life through which your soul light can radiate and uplift others, reminding them of the way of love rather than fear. You can be a great source of great light, healing, and wisdom on this planet if you so choose. You're drawn to this oracle because you are ready. You are ready to grow spiritually, to be a guiding light in the evolution of consciousness on this planet, to be brave, and to choose love over fear. Come and bask in the loving glow, the guidance, and blessings of beloved Kuan Yin as you find her in your own heart and soul, speaking to you from within. Namaste, beloved. She sees, honors, and nourishes your light now. And then it ends in this mantra, Om Kuan Chi Yin Pusa, Om Mani Padme Hum. I think that's so beautiful. And really, the Divine Feminine has been popping up again and again and again. I know I've spoken to quite a few women in my life about this recently. And, from this introduction and from what I've read, my sense is that Kuan Yin is one of the many names from one of the many cultures that has recognized Source, the divine feminine aspect of Source. I read a book a few years ago, and I don't remember what it was called. And if I find it, I will be sure to talk about it here. It's in one of the many boxes in our garage, still waiting to be unpacked, because we still need bookshelves here for all of the literally hundreds of books that I've collected. Anyway, I bring that up because after reading that, I had learned many different names from many different cultures for the divine feminine. And I chose one, the name Shakti, which comes from the Hindu culture, to name one of my cats, just as an ever-present reminder of the divine feminine, and to really invoke the divine feminine spirit every single time I talk to my cat, even if it's asking her to get off of the table, which is many times a day. I'm sure some of you can relate. Anyway, so let's get to the card that I pulled. The card is called To the Celestial Mountain. And I'm not going to read everything in the guidebook because then I feel like the only thing I'm doing here is reading. But I am going to read the quick excerpt and then we'll talk about it. Here we go. There are times when divine energy is needed to help us achieve our spiritual goals. When you do not feel completely in control of your destiny, the divine is usually gifting you with an opportunity to reach for assistance and to invoke divine power, to call to the celestial mountain so that you might be gifted with a far superior outcome. Your permission to beings that love you unconditionally to offer you help is an expression of spiritual empowerment. You empower those forces to come to your aid and help you manifest your life purpose and destiny. So what I'm getting from this is this dichotomy between control on our part, having control, and then also asking for help. And I feel like this is one of those age-old problems or issues. And I know this crops up in different ways in different people because all of our beings are different, and we're here to focus on different things, but this will always crop up, this control versus help issue. And I feel like it's never more relevant than as a mom, and certainly that's the scope that I'm seeing this through as a mom, as a new mom, but this applies to so many different situations. But I have always thought that I want to, not just want to, I have to do everything, do it all. I had a really fast rising career in the corporate world. Not that it was super fulfilling, but I definitely got promoted very quickly through the ranks. And I kind of had this sort of crisis at some point, because I realized that I wouldn't be able to, if I got to a certain point anyway, I wouldn't be able to be home for my kids, to raise my kids. And I know that is a choice that many of us have to make. And I feel like there's no right choice one way or the other. We're here to work on different lessons, as I said. And I think also, just knowing numerology and astrology too, we're coming from different points. We've had different experiences in our past. I believe in reincarnation and past lives. And so the way that I view it, I don't know what other people have done in their past lives. Apparently, in my past lives, and I can definitely see this clearly through astrology, looking at my South Node. It's in Cancer. And so that's something that I have mastered. It's something that I've done before. And that signifies, being the homemaker, really. And so I guess in a way it was comfortable. But all this is to say, I wanted to be home to raise my kids. And at that time, it was future kids, way in the future. And at the same time, I'm also a Capricorn that's a Capricorn Sun and a Capricorn North Node. So I'm here to really master career. And the way that I decided that I wanted to tackle this was to make my own career as a self-employed person, have my own business, have the freedom so that I can work and parent at the same time. I can do both full time. And I didn't realize how big of a bite that is. It's a pretty big bite to chew, to do so many things full time. And at the same time, certainly since my son has been born, since he's been 6 months, I'd say, is when I have really been facing this issue of asking for help. I feel a little guilt and a little shame having to ask for help, for not being able to do everything and do everything perfectly. And so it started, I think I've mentioned this before, it started with me asking my husband for some, what we call creativity time every day. And he was amenable to that. Thank goodness, he's great. And so I've been able to have that, maybe not every single day. It is, I would admit, the first thing to go, because we're both self-employed, and, time is money. And sometimes something comes up, and it's just logical to spend that time when it comes up, because it needs to be addressed immediately, to do the money generating activity before doing the self-care activity. So we've gotten to this point where after quite a lot of time, I'm very grateful that we are in the position that we are in now, because it's been a few years of just very hard. And so now we're in the position as entrepreneurs where we can hire some people, and we have agreed to hire a nanny, a part-time nanny, who will be here for 6 hours, just one day a week. And part of me is so excited, because I can focus on work and self-care in those 6 hours. And at the same time, I feel so guilty because I'm wondering why I can't just do it all myself.